Alright, what's going on, guys? It is Storytimes of Crimes or Shane Dryer here. And, try to make my intro different every time and it works out. So I just want to take this time to say thank you for 160 subscribers. It's amazing. I never, ever thought I'd get 160. You know, I know that seems like so small compared to some of these other YouTubers, but for me that's a huge deal. I'm thankful for each and every one of you, and I hope you stick around to the very end because this shit's gonna go a lot of places. But to get into this story, this is the story of how I got expelled from my elementary school. Now, this story is gonna be a short one, but it's still, you know, I deleted it because I was very embarrassed about it, but I owe you guys since I got 160 subscribers, and I promised in the past that if I got 160 or 150, I would tell this story. So basically, this involves bullying. I bullied a person one time in my life, and I will never bully another person in my life again after this. But there's this girl. Her name was Mariah Lonergan. I'm saying her name because there's no real legal involvement here. But me and this kid, his name was, we'll just call him Double D because he had a first and last name that started with the letter D. We'll just call him Double D. Me and him would just tease this girl, but it wasn't bullying. It was really just light teasing, but she took a lot of offense to it. Like, we just called her like an asshole and shit like that. From what I can remember, that's all we did. We just called her like an asshole. We didn't even call her like the C word. We didn't push her. We didn't do anything. So it wasn't really bullying, but she didn't like it. And there were points where she wasn't coming into school because she was terrified of us. Even though we literally did nothing. We just called her names and shit. And she told the principal. And the principal called me in, and basically I tried to deny it at first, but David ended up telling them what happened. And he had actually implicated me in something that I didn't create at all. He was trying to form a thing called the Kill Mariah Club, which was something that I had no idea about until the day of me getting called into the principal's office. So, and he tried to say that I was the one who created that, which is just ridiculous. And the reason why they expelled me was because in the past I had done all those things. I'll actually have it linked because I mentioned it. The video of the 4 extremely bad things I did in elementary school. Alright, well, I'm due at the front of the desk, so I'll basically just end the story off by saying that those things, plus me bringing a lighter into school and taking a plastic knife from the cafeteria, made it so I basically I took a plastic knife out of the cafeteria and they searched my bag and tried to claim that it was a fucking weapon, which it wasn't. But, you know, that's the reason why I got expelled. All those things plus the quote-unquote bullying. So, with that, I'm going to end this story. Peace and love and no bullying. Don't ever bully people. So this story is going to be a pretty quick one, but it's still pretty fascinating. This is about the time that a bunch of girls have came, let's just say, in my car. So the first story, it was me, a dude in the front. I'm not going to say his name because he really shouldn't be mentioned. And a girl and a guy in the back who were dating. And we all smoked weed. And we were all high as hell. I was blasting Metallica. I remember the song, actually. It was Dyer's Eve. And I just started hearing moaning coming from in the back. And I'm like, oh shit, alright. Next thing I know, squirt, squirt, squirt. And I'm not trying to sound like a fucking virgin when I say it like that. But literally, dude, like, I could hear the sounds of her squirting in my car. um, it was crazy, but we were all high, and that's what drugs does to you, man. It makes you do things you wouldn't normally do. But yeah, she came in my car, and couldn't tell if I was turning her on or if he was turning her on more. I don't even know, dude. But I was doing metal vocals. I was screaming and shit. So before they started doing that, so that probably got her going. So this next one is kind of similar. Again, well, it wasn't a dude in the passenger seat this time. It was a dude driving. His name starts with a Z. And I was the same exact thing. It was a different girl this time. There was a girl and a guy in the back seat, and they were dating. And I was just doing my metal vocals, screaming over songs. And she just goes, "Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah." And then next thing I know, my entire windshield is covered with water, or what I thought was water. And it turns out later it was vagina juice. But yeah. Basically, that's all there is to that story. She had came in my car, and I look back, and she's just like laughing about it, and I'm like, "Are you fucking serious?" And I said that like probably 10 times before she finally got defensive about it and was like, "No, I didn't. Like, she was denying that she came in my car. So yeah. And then my best friend, who starts with a J, the guy who tried to slam me into a locker at school, basically, before I bought the car, so I bought my car off of a girl. He was dating that girl, and he had actually screwed her in the back seat of my car, and he goes, "There's probably juice stains back there." And I'm like, "Oh, that's good to know, thank you. Good thing I sit in the front seat." But no, this is a 4-minute story. That's basically all there is to this. So a lot has happened in the past 2 months. Before I get into this story, I'm just going to talk a little bit about that. I relapsed on triple C's, and I took a lot of them. I tripped a lot of balls. But I'm back, and I'm clean. It's not easy, but I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it for myself and for you guys. But without further ado, let me just jump right into the story so it doesn't get too boring. So this is the story about the time a scammer tried to blackmail me for nudes. So I'll tell you from the beginning. So this happened back when I was in my college dorm. It was right before I went on that huge bender where I spent that whole $6,000 check. Sorry, that's me just dropping my shoes on the ground. I'm sitting in bed right now while recording this. It's really nice and comfortable. But this was right before I went on that huge bender, and I was still in my college dorm. So this is like the beginning of October, and this girl hit me up, and I thought she was real. Okay, and there's a reasoning for this further down. She started shaking her boobs, sending me pictures of her shaking her boobs, and texting me, "Show me your thing, if you can guess what I'm talking about." And I kept telling her no. And then all of a sudden, I get a voice call. And I answer it, and there's this girl, the same girl, and it was the same girl that was in the video. So I was like, okay, so this is real. So she lifts her shirt and shows me her boobs, and then she says, "Can I see your thing?" So I instinctively whipped out my camera. I whipped out my camera because my camera was already out, but I was trying to sound cool, whatever. And I turned the camera around and showed it. And the second I showed it, the girl gets up, walks off screen, and the video chat ends. Next thing I know, I'm getting pictures of my thing sent back to me. And they said, basically, if you don't give me $500, I'll send this to everyone you know. And I was like, I'm not giving you the money.
Sure. Attention, we have to leave for the meeting at 6 o'clock at the Michaels. And yes.
All right, just ignore that. I'm in a halfway house right now, and
head out to the friendship van for the meeting.
Yeah, so we go to like Narcotics Anonymous meetings to stay clean. It's actually really helpful. If anybody's trying to get clean, I would suggest you go to Narcotics Anonymous. But anyways, I kept saying no. I was like, I'm not going to send you $500. That's ridiculous. And the person behind the phone, whoever it was, or computer, I don't even know, said, well, I'm going to send it to your mother. And I'm like, ha, good luck with that. Now, what I didn't realize was that on my Facebook, I have my parents linked as, like, you know how on Facebook you can have your parents linked as your parents? Well, you can do that. You can have it so that way people can see your family members. And so, guess what? This scammer sends a picture of my thing to my own biological fucking mother. I was livid. If that person was in person, I don't care if it was if it was a girl, I wouldn't do anything. I'd be pretty pissed though, and I'd find a way to fuck with her. But it was probably a guy trying to fuck with me. But sends a picture to me, and I have, and stick around to the end of the video because I have message proof of this. So my mom instinctively goes nuts, and she's like, what the hell is this? And I had to explain the whole thing to her, and after explaining it to her, she understood, but she still sent the picture to my biological father, Jason Kupchak. So next thing I know, my dad's hitting me up, and I got message proof of that too. My dad's hitting me up, asking me what the hell is this? And it was just a whole ordeal, but at the end of the day, if you want to know, basically at the end of the day, you know how a scammer usually, after a while, it says user unavailable? Well, that's what happened. There was no profile picture, and it said user unavailable, so the scammer gave up. But not before sending my nudes to my biological mother, and then my father got it as well. Unfucking believable. But really, honestly, that's all there is to that story. The messages are coming up next. Thank you for watching. I love you all. And try not to fall into these traps, because this is a very easy way to get fucked over. So yeah, peace and love, and here comes the images now.